Often women are the subject in horror rather than the creators. Like, no, we don't want the same old stuff that we've had. We don't want to watch Drew Barrymore get stabbed again. Like, let's see something different. I run Bloodbath Literary Zine. I always feel bad saying this, but like, I would describe it as horror that's cool. The way I wanted it to be was like conscious and deliberate horror, not just like going for the same old tortured romance. Vampire stories, skulls and blood drips. I think there's more interesting things to do. I was really afraid of horror a lot when I was a kid, but I was always really fascinated. Like, I used to get my older cousins to like describe the plot of the horror movies that I was too afraid to watch. I guess the idea for running my own zine was in my head for a couple of years before I started it. I just sort of was noticing like, oh, there's not actually like horror publications out there that I can send my work to. And yeah, because my dad had passed away, I had the money to sort of kickstart things. He really encouraged me a lot. He read a lot of my early stories and offered feedback on them. Like, I remember one year I just wrote him a story for Christmas. It was a cheap year, I guess, but I wrote him a story. It was like a murder mystery, and then he would get the answer on Boxing Day, so he had to like figure it out. He loved it. He thought it was the best thing ever, so yeah. It really is like all walks of life, all ages, like all kinds of people write horror, and people that you might not expect as well are very into it. The first issue's theme was bodies, which was great. I don't know if it was the theme itself, bodies, but we did get a lot of submissions from men who were obviously living out some kind of messed up fantasy that they wanted to put to paper, which I guess in principle I don't have that much of a problem with, but I just would rather not be sent them and have to read them. So I put, for our second call for submissions for the Demons issue, I put a note in bold like, if you are a cis man and you are considering sending us a sexually violent story in which women get raped and beaten horribly, maybe don't send that because I don't want it. I chose to make a zine because I love the idea of counterculture that you get in zine culture, of making something just out of love and wanting it to exist rather than like for profit or anything else. Although online publishing is great, it's not really the same as holding your work physically in your hands. It's like, oh, this is it, like it's real. The horror scene in Scotland is very small but extremely passionate and devoted. The people that are in it really, really love it. I really like putting the focus on Scottish creators most of the time, and that's, I think, something that's gotten easier as I've gotten up more of a profile in Scotland. I would just love for it to keep growing. I would just love to be able to keep doing this forever, and we are kind of in a golden age of horror right now. Women are just kind of taking that space back a little bit. Like, it's just going to keep getting better from now on.